ready.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
Welcome to STS Radio.
You just wait and see how far we're gonna go.
Because regular radio fucking sucks.
Alright guys, so I'm talking with current Boston DJ, Carter Allen. This one, I was kind of surprised that this one happened to myself. I should probably give a little backstory as to the history of myself and Carter, and kind of how this interview came about. So I worked at WZLX, including my internship, for over 5 years. First I was an intern, and then I was hired to be the associate producer for the morning show over there. And Carter would come on after the morning show, and Carter was always such a fucking sweetheart, man. Like, just, if I had to wrap up some stuff, he was always cool about letting me wrap it up real quick, or, doing what I needed to do. And just let me hang out in the studio and just kind of watch him, like, just, do what he does. It's kind of like being like a rookie baseball player, seeing, like a more famous baseball player taking batting practice or taking drills and just seeing like how they do things, And like Carter was always such a fucking sweetheart to me, man. Just always kind, answered any questions that I had, And the guy knew his shit too, Like I remember there was one time I brought in a CD because I thought it would be interesting for the morning show. It was a band called what was their name? It was called Blackjack. And it had former Kiss guitarist Bruce Kulick on guitars and Michael Bolton on the lead vocals, and it was a rock band. So I brought it in the morning show, wasn't interested in it. They're just like, whatever, who cares? It's a good band, you should check them out. But I brought it in, I was like, hey, Carter, you ever heard of these guys? He's like, oh, yeah, I remember them. They were pretty good. He's like, kind of wish, they sounded a little heavier live, which was a good thing. They should have sounded that way in recordings, but you know what, man? I don't know. I guess, it all comes down to who's in charge of making the records and whatnot, so, oh well. But, yeah, like I said, Carter was always such a sweetheart to me, and my last day at the Boston radio station, when I was let go, fired, whatever you want to say, Carter was the one who escorted me out of the building, like, let me go back to the recording studio that I was in, grabbed my personal effects, and just walked me out. Had a seltzer with me before I left, and that was it. I didn't see him until a couple of months after that, when Joe Perry was doing a book signing at the Brookline Booksmith. There was a theater like across the way there. I think it was like the Coolidge Corner Theater, where Joe Perry was doing an appearance there. So I'd bought tickets, and then I think it was like a day afterwards they announced, oh yeah, Carter Allen's going to be hosting a Q&A session with him about the book and about his life and blah blah blah, and then Joe Perry's going to sign books at the bookstore afterwards and take pictures with people. I was like, oh shit, here we go, fuck. So I was kind of nervous about like, fuck, what if he sees me? I'm just like, hey, you know what, man, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like at the time I was working at another radio station in New Hampshire. And, so I'm thinking, like, you know what, man, Carter did nothing wrong to me, man. He was doing his job, as shitty as it sounds, like, he was doing his job, He was taking orders from the guy who signs his paychecks, in a sense. So, but yeah, like, so I think it was after his interview, a couple fans went up to the stage, started talking with Carter, and I was like, what the fuck do I have to hide away from this guy for? Like, he was always cool to me, And I don't think he's, I don't think he has any ill will towards me. Like, I don't think I did anything to piss him off. So I go up to the stage, like, hey man, just want to, just say hey, kind of gave him a quick hello and whatnot. And then I go get in line for the bookstore for Joe Perry's signing, and I run into him again inside, and we had a nice conversation. He's like, "Hey, listen, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I had no idea that was going to happen until like the day of that. That was going to go on, and I was like, dude, don't worry about it. I don't hold any ill will towards you. You were doing your job. If anything, I'm disappointed in myself that I got to that point where I was like, oh, for those reasons, for snapping in the morning show, and that's it. But I also understand that I was never going to really get higher than I was there. So you know what, man, maybe it was all for the best. I'm working at a station in New Hampshire now. Looks like there's room to grow there. We'll see what happens. Fast forward a few months, I leave the station in New Hampshire. We did a whole podcast on that with Bruce. So I leave the station in New Hampshire, and what ended up happening was, like, after I got let go from the station in Boston, like, I pretty much blocked them on social media, like blocked them on Twitter. I blocked them on almost everybody. There were a couple of people from the station that I still kind of follow and see their posts and whatnot. I think Kenny Young is one of them. Carter is definitely one of them. Yeah, the program director I blocked. But anyways, because I was kind of in a bad place. I was just like, fuck radio. This is fucking bullshit. This is goddamn retarded. So, fast forward to, God, I forget when the hell this book signing was, but I found out Carter was doing a book signing for his new book, which he's here to promote, called the Decibel Diaries. But he was doing a book signing, God, I forget where the hell it was. I want to say it was, near Foxborough, in, this little warehouse, kind of flea market kind of thing that I think was going on. I forget what the hell the purpose of the building was, but it seemed like a little, flea market place. There was, little activities going on and shit. But it was him and Charles Laquadara, another famous Boston radio DJ. They were there, talking about, the days of WBCN and whatnot, and then they were signing the books afterwards. So I got out of work that day, and I was just like, you know what, man? I was kind of debating going up there. I was just like, you know what the fuck? I'm in a good place right now for the most part. What the fuck? What would it hurt to go say hi to the guy? And plus, I wanted to read his book on WBCN anyways. At this point, I can go and get it fucking signed. What the hell? Why not? So I get up there. I'm just kind of hanging out in the back, trying not to, I don't know if he sees me from the stage or whatnot, or if he's like, oh, that guy kind of looks familiar. Because concerning the last time I saw him, I dropped well over 100 pounds. So I don't know if I was as recognizable as I was. So, yeah, so it comes time, him and Laquadara are done. And, so I get in line for the book signing, and I'm seeing other Boston radio personalities that I knew when I was there. At least one of them. And I saw a wife of one of the former coworkers that was there, who was always cool to me. We would always talk Kiss or sports or whatever was there. And she didn't recognize me. But, I had so many few interactions with her. It didn't matter. It's all good. So, so I get one person is in front of me. Chatting with Laquadara and Carter, and they, Carter kind of sees me out of the corner of his eye. He's like, kind of mouths the word "holy shit!" You fucking skinny man. What the holy shit? I was like, yeah. I kind of give a little weak smile and whatnot. So. We're signing the books. He's signing the books and whatnot. Him and Laquadara are both signed both of their books and whatnot. The Decibel Diaries and Radio Free Boston, which is Carter's WBCN book. So, I didn't have much time with Carter at that point, so I was just like, hey, man, would it be cool if I got a picture with you, man? And, it's been a while. He's like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, all right, cool. Can I just, go around the table? Go around the table, and I pretty much I'm doing the polite thing. I'm waiting for everybody to get done signing the books and whatnot. And somebody tried to stop me. He's like, oh, you can't be over here. You can't be over here. I was like, they told me to wait over here to get a picture. It's perfectly okay. So I wait, probably about another half hour or whatnot. They're done with the signings and whatnot. Carter comes over, and he's taking pictures of some other people. He comes, takes a picture with me, and we started chatting for a little bit, man. It was kind of like just old times, like, hey, how you doing? You looking great. What'd you do? Oh, that's really cool. Like, I've been doing this as part of my, exercise regimen and whatnot. And, you're doing really good, man. As long as you're in a good place, that's all that matters, and blah, blah, Really, really fucking sweet conversation. And, like, I don't know what possessed me to do this, but, maybe it was just, because I had such a great, conversation with the guy. I just said, you know what, man, fuck it, go for it. The worst he can do is say no. If he says no, so what? So you leave, with a story and, a couple signed books that you can read. So I asked him, I said, would you want to appear on my podcast and, just kind of shoot the shit about your books, about the Decibel Diaries and Radio Free Boston, the journey of WBCN. So, he said, yeah, he's like, I would love to do my own podcast, but, can't really do it. I guess it's an exclusive deal with CBS Radio or CBS Boston or whatever it is, but yeah, that's how this interview had come about. And really, like, what I don't know how it's going to go. Like, I'm recording this intro before this interview. Time now, right now, is like 2:48 p.m. Carter's supposed to be calling me at about 3. So, so I have no idea how this is going to go. And, if it goes great, hey, great. If it doesn't, we got a story out of it. And you know what? That's kind of been the mantra for things. It's like, just do something to have a story about it. If it's good, you got a story out of it, and maybe you got something else out of it. If it's bad, you've at least got a story out of it. Like, I did a rapid weight loss thing years ago when I was still working at that Boston radio station, and I just did it for, okay, maybe I get a good laugh out of this. Maybe I get a good story out of it. Didn't really care about my health and whatnot. I was just like, fuck it, whatever. So we'll, Carter should be coming up here in just a couple minutes. Definitely be cool to reconnect with him as well. And we're gonna see how this goes. We'll see how it happens. And if it goes well, I'd like to have him come back on the podcast and talk more about his experiences, man. Because like you read the history of WBCN. I mean, if you were like a DJ at WBCN, like that was as close to getting to being a rock star without actually being a fucking rock star that you could get. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. My interview with Carter.
We got a picture with Slaughter. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was really cool. They made the announcement early on in the show that Mark was going to be taking pictures and signing autographs with fans, and I was just like, well, fuck, I'd be an idiot to pass that up. So
did you buy the new CD?
No, the new CD doesn't come out until Friday. It's called Halfway There, so I'm definitely gonna pick that up. I know, kind of a cheap plug here, but
So he was just signing anything you had?
Yeah, if you brought it, like somebody brought a guitar with them, if you had, he was selling CDs and T-shirts, obviously, so I ended up buying a T-shirt there, and it was really cool, man.
It is cool. All right.
It's always cool, like when you meet like a rock star and you find out just like how just like really humble that they are,
Well, he's gone through some, changes, and that band was doing really well, and then the whole change happened, and so they kind of got screwed. And so they're on an upward trajectory, and I think he had to drop back a little bit, but he keeps playing because he's a musician. He likes it. He digs it. So, yeah, I think he's just happy to be playing, like all of us. I'm just happy to be doing radio.
Well,
the way things are going on.
Well, and he also went to, he also had to deal with Vinnie Vincent, so I think he knows, okay, that's not how it would be.
Vinnie Vincent. Yeah. I've never heard anything good spoken of him.
The only good things I've heard about him is, from Paul Stanley. He's just going, well, he knows how to write a song. But I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, other than that, everybody was just like, that guy, oh boy, yeah.
Well, when you go so far